Are you ready, kids? And adults that love some SpongeBob nostalgia every now and then. Hot off the heels of 2020's financially successful remake of Battle for Bikini Bottom, developer Purple Lamp Studios and publisher THQ Nordic have decided to make an original game off the SpongeBob SquarePants IP instead of remaking another classic title. SpongeBob SquarePants: The Cosmic Shake is a bold move for the developer, as they intend to make a spiritual successor to the Battle for Bikini Bottom, a much beloved game of the community. Personally speaking, as someone that played Battle for Bikini Bottom for hundreds of hours as a kid and beat the remake as an adult, my expectations for this title were sky high. But is the Cosmic Shake a sweet victory, or does it flop like a fish? Let's find out. I'll be reviewing the game on Steam Deck, as THQ Nordic provided a PC review code for this video. The Cosmic Shake is also available on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch for its release on January 31st, 2023. There's also a collector's edition of the game called the BFF edition that can be ordered right now. If you're interested in how the game performs on Steam Deck only, I'll include a time step in the description so you can fast forward to that part. With that being said, let's journey back to Bikini Bottom for some nautical nonsense with our always charming SpongeBob SquarePants characters.
Madam Cassandra, we were just having fun, but we accidentally used too much of your magic bubble soap and destroyed Bikini Bottom, and now all of our friends are gone and there's jelly everywhere.
So I'm not going to be too critical of the story here. It's a SpongeBob game for Coral's sake, but I can summarize it like this. SpongeBob and Patrick make a trip to Glove World when they stumble upon some magical mermaid tears from a fortune teller named Cassandra. It's said that you can make any wish that you desire, blow a bubble up into the sky, and it'll come true. SpongeBob and Patrick take the mermaid tears home and start making wishes, when all of a sudden the fabric of the universe unravels and sends their friends into different dimensions called wish worlds. As SpongeBob and his now ballooned friend Patrick, you must investigate these wish worlds and bring your friends back to Bikini Bottom and restore things to how they were. To me, this is a better premise than Battle for Bikini Bottom, and along the way, you'll be meeting very familiar faces on your journey. All the characters are how they should be from the original series, and the writers should be praised for doing such a great job with portraying the citizens of Bikini Bottom. My personal favorite part of the Cosmic Shake is the banter between SpongeBob and Balloon Patrick throughout the game. Their constant joke-telling and nonsense never gets old, and it's a treat for all fans of the series, so it's like a SpongeBob SquarePants buddy movie. There's also plenty of callbacks to moments, characters, and areas throughout SpongeBob's history, so yeah, the story is fun, and the characters are just as fun as ever. Like its predecessor, the Cosmic Shake is a single-player 3D platformer. You can do your basic attacks like a spin move and a body slam move to beat your opponents. Also added to the game are new bubble blowing moves that allow you to trap your enemies in a bubble to gain an advantage over them. This can also be used as a stealth attack to unsuspecting enemies. There's also karate kicks and fish hook moves to unlock. A new addition to the game is a dodge button, which allows SpongeBob to move quickly throughout a space and avoid enemies. Just make sure SpongeBob doesn't take too many hits, as his health, underwear, actually, will deplete over time if you're hit by attacks. This combat reminds me so much of my days as a kid fighting against robots in 2003's Battle for Bikini Bottom that I couldn't help but have a huge smile on my face throughout the entire game. The combat is smooth and as fluid as ever, and Purple Lamp Studios have definitely taken what they've learned from Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated to make the combat as fun and engaging as ever. Of course, what's a platformer without puzzles to solve and spaces to explore? The Cosmic Shake has you covered with 7 different wish worlds, like the Wild West Jellyfish Fields and Halloween Rock Bottom. These different wish worlds are filled with color and detail as they look amazing and are surprisingly spacious. There's plenty of things to explore, such as finding secret areas in the worlds that hide various prizes like doubloons and cosmic jelly that you can use to unlock special costumes. Speaking of costumes, that's one of the big selling points of the Cosmic Shake. There are over 30 costumes for you to collect, most of which are inspired from the show, such as SpongeBob's Band Geeks uniform, the Cuddly Crab uniform, his karate outfit, and my personal favorite, the Robot SpongeBob outfit from Battle for Bikini Bottom. This brings me to another point about the gameplay that differs from Battle for Bikini Bottom. You're only playing as SpongeBob for the entirety of the game instead of switching out characters for certain sections. To me, that's not a bad thing since you're learning various moves and have the banter between Patrick throughout the game to keep you engaged, but it is something to bring up. One last thing about the gameplay I do want to say is about some bugs I experienced in-game. Sometimes I would be fighting a horde of enemies in an enclosed space, only to find out one of them had glitched out of the area, not allowing me to proceed. There's also a few times when the game would completely freeze when changing areas of a world or go into a new part of a Wish world. While not game breaking, these are issues that I feel like need to be addressed. The latter might be a Steam Deck only problem, but I'm not 100% sure. All in all, the gameplay of the Cosmic Shake is a lot of fun and reminds me of the best parts of Battle for Bikini Bottom. I can tell this game was created by a team of people that truly love the source material and wanted this to be an authentic spiritual successor to a game that is so beloved by the community.
Wait a second! Patrick, you're a balloon!
I wish! If I were a balloon, I'd be able to do cool stuff like this! And this! And this!
Now, what would a SpongeBob game be without an upbeat and fun soundtrack? The Cosmic Shake is a great example of how to adapt a distinct tone from a show into another form of media. With the score done by the original composer of Battle for Bikini Bottom's soundtrack, each Wish world has its own theme that perfectly fits the tone of the world itself, my favorite being the Wild West Jellyfish Fields theme. The soundtrack also includes classic tracks from the TV show that you'll recognize immediately. Unfortunately, because of this, I had to mute the soundtrack for the game for copyright reasons. What you're hearing right now is actually the Battle for Bikini Bottom soundtrack, but this new score is great and really captures the classic SpongeBob feel. As for the voice acting, I'm happy to report that the cast is back and better than ever. As you travel through the game and meet up with your favorite Bikini Bottomites from the series, you'll realize that they're all voiced by their original voice actors. Even Clancy Brown returns to the series and reprises his role as Mr. Krabs, something that was sorely missed from Battle for Bikini Bottom. The characters are all voiced extremely well, and you can tell a lot of love was put into their scripts.
It's cosmic jelly, the glue of reality. Your bubble stravaganza must have blown holes through the universe, squeezing the jelly out and sucking your friends into new and strange worlds.
That was gonna be my first guess.
As I stated before, I'm reviewing the Cosmic Shake on Steam Deck, so I cannot speak towards the other versions of the game. However, what I will say is that the PC port of this game has a lot to be desired. While the game looks great on Steam Deck's 800p screen and has the ability to reach 60 FPS during gameplay, this port has an apparent lack of graphical options such as anti-aliasing and depth of field options. Instead, the only options you're given is the resolution settings and gamma correction. Because of this, the Cosmic Shake can struggle in certain instances. For example, cutscenes in the game have high resolution models and sharp visuals, which can make the frame rate chug into the teens at times. Certain areas in game as well bring the frame rate down into the mid-40s, which is not ideal. Thankfully, combat hardly wavers from the 60 FPS mark, but the lack of graphical options to me really holds the port back. The frame drops aren't too noticeable, especially when you're in the middle of action, but it can be apparent at times. You could always just play the game in 40Hz mode, but I feel like this game excels being played at 60 FPS. Battery life for the Cosmic Shake is another thing that holds the Steam Deck experience back. With the lack of graphical options, the Steam Deck had to exert over 23 watts of power at times at 60 FPS, which makes battery life just a little over 2 hours. At 40Hz, the battery life increases to around 3.5 to 4 hours. To me, I love 60 FPS, so it's not a big deal since I play near chargers all the time. But it's something to keep in mind. This game really pushes the Steam Deck's GPU usage and even maxes it out at times. That being said, if you're wanting to play this game and don't mind the frame drops, definitely check out the game on Steam Deck. It works out of the box and doesn't require any specific version of Proton to work. Otherwise, this is honestly a bit lazy of a PC port that definitely needs some customization to allow users to optimize their experience better on their hardware.
I'm hungry and confused. Mommy!
SpongeBob SquarePants The Cosmic Shake is another successful attempt by Purple Lamp Studios to recreate the magic of those classic PlayStation 2 era platformers that we love. With a great sense of humor, a charming cast of characters, tight combat mechanics, and great platforming sections, Cosmic Shake is a game that is not to be missed by fans of the SpongeBob franchise or platformers in general. While the PC port is borderline lazy and the Steam Deck can struggle to keep a constant 60 FPS at times, I still had a blast with the Cosmic Shake on Valve's hardware. It's a sweet victory for Purple Lamp, THQ Nordic, and longtime fans of the franchise, and for $40, I can highly recommend this game. So that is my review for SpongeBob SquarePants The Cosmic Shake. I know it's a little bit different than the content I usually post on this channel, but I hope you enjoyed it, and it's something that I wanted to do as well. I want to thank THQ Nordic again for the review code. I had a blast with this game. I want you guys to let me know if you enjoyed this review, if you want to see more reviews like this in the future, and don't worry, I won't be doing reviews like this all the time. It's just something that like I said, I really wanted to do. You can expect me to get back to normal content creation very soon. I want to thank my patrons as well, all the people that support me on Patreon. Thank you so much. You're the reason I keep on doing this, and I hope you have a great day. I'll see you on the next video. King out.